For the past 6 years, this man was the worst quarterback in the NFL. 47 interceptions. He was so bad that his own team cut ties with him this offseason. And you know what? Nobody cared. Not the fans, not the media. That man's name? Daniel Jones. And today, he's one of the front runners for this year's MVP. From 1998 to 2010, the Indianapolis Colts had one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever live, Peyton Manning. Even in the golden era across all those fast starts, the Colts never hit the number you're about to see. Because in 2025, with Daniel Jones under center, Indianapolis just put up the most points through the first 3 games in franchise history. And here's where it gets even crazier. Indianapolis has punted once, one time in 3 games. According to Eli's Sports Bureau, no team in the Super Bowl era has ever punted fewer times to start a season. Only 2 teams have ever started 3-0 with fewer than 5 punts.
The best team that I ever saw for a single season is that New England team of 2007.
Touchdown, Wes Welker! On 3rd and 3 off the play fake, Jones rolls the pocket. He looks downfield, looks to the other side of the field, wide open.
The 2007 New England Patriots, who nearly went undefeated, and the 2025 Indianapolis Colts. That's the company they're keeping right now. Peyton Manning's Colts didn't do it. Andrew Luck's Colts didn't do it. The only precedent is one of the greatest teams of all time. So how did a franchise that spent the last decade struggling for relevance suddenly turn into a scoring juggernaut? The answer is surprisingly Daniel Jones, along with Jonathan Taylor, and an offense that has gone from forgettable to unstoppable overnight. But the question we have to answer is this: does all of this add up to a Super Bowl contention, or is it just an early season mirage? Before we get into the stars of this turnaround, let's set the stage. The Colts were supposed to be mediocre again. That's just what the last few seasons told us. In 2023, they went 9-8. In 2024, they went 8-9. 2 straight years of being stuck in the middle. Not good enough to contend, not bad enough to rebuild. Heading into the season, most preseason previews didn't give them more than a passing mention. Some analysts projected them to finish last in the AFC South. Others had them hanging around .500 again, maybe stealing a wildcard spot if everything went perfectly. The roster didn't look loaded. Anthony Richardson was still raw, and while Jonathan Taylor was a known commodity, the rest of the offensive unit felt unremarkable. So how did they go from a background noise to center stage? It started with a quarterback nobody expected to be the story. Daniel Jones was done, or at least that's what it felt like. Drafted by the Giants in 2019, he flashed athleticism but never consistency. He turned the ball over constantly. His pocket presence was shaky, and the New York media ate him alive. By last November, he was begging for his release, labeled as a bust, a cautionary tale. The Colts signed him in the offseason on a cheap 1-year deal, mostly as competition for Anthony Richardson. Fans barely blinked. The national media didn't even bother analyzing it. If you told people in August that by week 3, Jones will be leading the NFL's #1 offense, they would have laughed in your face. But here we are. In Shane Steichen's system, Jones looked like a completely different player. Through 3 games, he has 3 passing touchdowns and 3 rushing touchdowns, along with 0 turnovers. That combination has never been done before in the Super Bowl era. And it's not just safe check-down football. Jones is attacking downfield. He's completing 65% of his throws 10+ yards downfield, for a ridiculous 14.3 yards per attempt on those throws. Last year in New York, those same throws went for 8.9 yards at a 45% clip. That's not marginal improvement, that's transformation. The Colts have even started calling him Indiana Jones. In New York, he was Danny Dimes. In Indy, he's become Danny Unitas. Of course, even the best version of Daniel Jones can't carry a team without help. And the Colts have the perfect running mate, Jonathan Taylor. Taylor is back to looking like the player who led the NFL in rushing in 2021. Through 3 games, he leads the league in scrimmage yards with 431 and has already scored 4 touchdowns. Against Tennessee, he ripped up a 46-yard run that looked like something out of NFL films, breaking tackles, spinning out of trouble, and dancing into the end zone. The crazy part, that was his 9th career touchdown run of at least 45 yards. He tied Derrick Henry and Chris Johnson for the most such runs by a player before turning 27. Taylor's ability to hit a home run on any carry makes defensive coordinators miserable. Do you stack the box and risk leaving receivers in one-on-one matchups against a suddenly efficient Daniel Jones? Or do you drop into coverage and watch Taylor punish you for 6 yards a pop until he inevitably breaks one for 40? As Taylor himself put it, defensive coordinators don't know what to call. That's not arrogance, that's very much reality. Every dominant offense has an engine room, and for the Colts is their offensive line. The line that once looked broken has been rebuilt into a strength. Quentin Nelson looks healthy again, anchoring a unit that gives Jones time to throw and Taylor daylight to run. Rookie tight end Tyler Warren has also been a surprising weapon as a lead blocker in Steichen's smash mouth concepts. The end result? An offense that has scored on 77% of its possessions. That's the best rate any team has posted through 3 weeks in the last 45 years. Think about that. Nearly 8 out of 10 times they touch the ball, they're scoring. That's not just efficient, that's absurd. The defense isn't flashy, but they don't need to be. Led by linebacker Zaire Franklin, the unit has been opportunistic, disciplined, and steady enough to let the offense shine. They kept opponents in check just long enough for Jones and Taylor to blow games open. Against Denver, they gave up yards but held firm late, setting up the controversial finish. Against Tennessee, they bottled up Cam Ward and forced the Titans to play from behind. The defense isn't a top 5 group, but if it stays in the top half of the league, that's all the Colts need. Now let's be fair, skepticism is warranted. The Colts' opponents so far, Miami, Denver, and Tennessee, are a combined 1-8. The win against Denver required a sketchy leverage penalty that gave Indy a second chance at a game-winning field goal. These aren't exactly statement wins over Super Bowl contenders. That's the number one counter argument to all the hype. If you want to be taken seriously as a contender, you got to beat serious teams. And that test is coming quickly. The Colts face the Rams next. That's a team with playoff level talent and an angry locker room after blowing a game to the Eagles. If the Colts win that one, the conversation changes from cute early season story to legit contender. Here's another thing working out in the Colts' favor. The division. The AFC South is frankly very weak. The Texans are 0-3. The Titans look washed, and Jacksonville can't seem to string together consistent performances. That leaves a door wide open for Indianapolis. Winning your division means hosting playoff games, and in the AFC, where top contenders are going to beat each other up all season, that home field advantage could make all the difference. We opened with the numbers, but it's worth circling back to what they mean in the bigger picture. The last time the Colts started 3-0 was 2009 with Peyton Manning. That team ended up going to the Super Bowl. The only other team in NFL history to start 3-0 with fewer than 5 punts, the 2007 Patriots, and we all know how that season ended. Now, no one's saying that Daniel Jones is Tom Brady, or that this roster is built like those Patriots, but history suggests that teams producing this level of early season efficiency usually aren't flukes. When you're rewriting record books 3 weeks into the season, it's not an accident. So what's the path from hot start to Lombardi Trophy? It comes down to 3 things. Sustaining the offense. Can Jones keep protecting the ball? Can Taylor stay healthy? If the offense keeps scoring at even 80% of this clip, they'll be dangerous. Second, defensive consistency. They don't need to be dominant, but they can't afford collapses against playoff caliber teams. And number 3, proving it against contenders. The Rams, Ravens, Bills, and the Chiefs are all on the schedule. Those games will tell us if Indy is truly elite or just a product of a soft opening schedule. The good news, the Colts formula, run the ball, protect the football, play efficient offense, is the kind of style that holds up in January. So let's call it. Are the Indianapolis Colts really Super Bowl contenders? The safe answer is no. It's too early. The schedule has been soft, and Daniel Jones has a track record of regression. But the bold answer, the one backed by numbers, by history, and the eye test, is yes. Because this isn't just a team winning games, this is a team putting up offensive efficiency numbers only matched by one of the greatest teams in NFL history. This is a quarterback who's been playing the best football of his life, a running back who's back in superstar form, and a division that's theirs for the taking. Will it last? That remains to be seen. But right now, the Colts aren't just lucky in September, they're real contenders.